Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091 and welcome back to Let's Play Dangan Ronpa. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, or if you don't celebrate, then I hope you guys just enjoyed the holidays or whatever the saying goes now. But in any case, I just hope you guys just enjoyed spending time with family or whatever. So, yep, that's why I didn't. Besides the fact I didn't actually have anything recorded, I figured I might as well just take a one-day break, But here I am again recording, and here we are starting, commencing this trial now. And I guess the biggest reveal in the last episode was that Fujisaki is indeed a boy. And it's like, what? But, so that happened, and now we're just gonna go ahead and continue on. And I believe here, shoot. Doesn't fail. I think where we left off was he was like asking like the only way. That means a person who could have entered the room. Yeah, they had access to the crime scene, which means they must have been obviously a male, considering that Fujisaki is male. You need a male's electrode to get into the men's changing room, which was the scene of the crime. Since Kawada's electrode was out of commission, the culprit must have used their own, meaning a culprit has to be male. But that's not enough to go off. I need more clues. Do you now? Alright then. So that's testimony. Have we no leads to identify the killer? As far as possible leads, what did anyone witness the culprit? If they did, they would have said something, dude. The sighting of the victim will do as well. At this point, we need any new information we can get. Give it up. We're not getting anything. The only person who saw the victim was the culprit, dude. There's no chance he's speaking up. We're through, dudes. Yeah, please don't let us be through. Alright. That's not true. Someone did see Fujisaki on the night of the murder, and she told me as much. That's why he has last testimony. I mean, she obviously saw him in the storeroom getting that track equipment. So, let's just see where he says, only the culprit? No. Fire that. Boom. So I think we're actually getting fairly close to finally discovering what the hell's been going on. So yeah, we're on phase 8. Yeah, we're pretty close. I would say like maybe another episode or two, and we should have this all wrapped up. Actually, the culprit isn't the only one who saw the victim that night. Isn't that right, Celeste? Now that you mention it, you're right. I did see him. Huh? Seriously? Ah, yes, that's right. Meggy was the only person who I told about this. That would explain why you were all so horribly disconcerted. No one else knew. That's not important. Just speak. Just before curfew last night, I ran into him in the dormitory storeroom. He was carrying a sports bag containing, at the very least, a tracksuit. I presume he was going to work out. A sports bag and a tracksuit. We found nothing to sort the crime scene. In all likelihood, the culprit disposed of them in order to get rid of any evidence. Not long after that, he said something rather interesting. Well, I'm in a hurry, so see you later. I distinctly recall him saying he was in a hurry. Wouldn't him being in a hurry seem to imply he was going to meet someone? In short, Master Chihiro Fujisaki was on his way to his own appointment with someone to work out together. Despite the fact that as hard as we tried, Fujisaki refused to work out with Asahina and I. Isn't that because he didn't want you to find out he was a dude? Turning it around, it means the person he was going to meet was someone he trusted deeply. Enough that he didn't care if they discovered his deep, dark secret. Oh, such a beautiful friendship! So basically, the person he was going to meet is the culprit, and we just have to find out who that was? But we only have so much evidence. Is that really enough? Oh, but it is. What? It should be clear by now who the culprit is. Really? Really? Who is it? Who killed him? The culprit considered the sports bag and checks that he disposed of to be items of importance. By looking at the distinguishing features of those items, it should be obvious who it was he met with. Is that really so? Could we possibly determine a culprit from evidence that has already been disposed of? Are you suggesting we dust for fingerprints? Without the proper equipment, that would be impossible for amateurs such as ourselves. Never mind the fact that we don't have anything to check for fingerprints since it's already been disposed of. We can still deduce who he was going to meet by discussing it in detail together. Well, that's easier said than done. Alright then, Celeste, could you answer this? Did anything about the bag or tracksuit stand out? The bag was just an ordinary bag you could find in the storeroom. The storeroom only stocks one variety of bags, so I can't say anything stood out in particular. If memory serves, there are several varieties of tracksuits. Perhaps then, Fujisaki's tracksuit can provide us with some information leading to a murderer. Then let's discuss his tracksuit, shall we? Could this really be something about Fujisaki's tracksuit that points to the killer? I'm having a hard time believing that. But it seems we gotta go through it anyway. Alright. This is, I don't know how the hell this is gonna work out. Okay. Let's see here. First of all, Chihiro Fujisaki was going to workouts. Yeah. Which raises the question. Why did he select that particular tracksuit? What do you mean, that particular tracksuit? I get it. He chose his tracksuit, so he and the culprit would match. Which means the culprit. And that kid had the same blue tracksuit? My tracksuit's black. I don't even own a tracksuit. I mean, like, I just hate working out. I've got a white tracksuit. Got it from a dormitory storeroom. Is talking about this really gonna tell us who did it? Nah, not a chance. You heard it too, didn't you, Niggy? His slip of the tongue? She's right. He said something he shouldn't have. So from here, you can just narrow down that one of the males said something that slipped up. Where exactly did he get the information? If you listen to what read what Iwata said, he did slip up. He said, what do you say? Which means the culprit, blue tracksuit. Where the hell did we ever mention that the tracksuit was blue? Celeste didn't say it. She just kept saying that he got a tracksuit. He got a tracksuit. Nothing suggested that it was a blue one. Makes you think. Just a second, Iwata. There's something wrong about what you just said. Huh? What's wrong with it? When Celeste was giving her testimony earlier, he was, yep, a tracksuit. Didn't say anything else. She never once mentioned the tracksuit's color. Why then did you know that Fujisaki wore a blue tracksuit? What are you talking about? Celeste, what color was Fujisaki's tracksuit? As I recall, it was blue. And did you tell that to anyone before the class trial? You were the only person I told, Negi. Then why did you find out that Chihiro Fujisaki wore a blue tracksuit, Iwata? Well, he must have found Fujisaki's tracksuit at some point during the investigation. No, he couldn't have. The bag and tracksuit would have already been disposed of when we began our investigation. Then the reason he knew what that color it was is because he saw Chi with it before he died. By Chi, do you mean Fujisaki? So, which was it? Did you see his tracksuit or didn't you? I just happened to run into him last night and catch a glimpse of it. The kid was walking around carrying it. No, that couldn't have happened either. When I was talking to Celeste, she told me that he quickly stuffed it in the bag and kind of like he was hiding it and then left. That after telling him his tracksuit was hanging out, Fujisaki stuffed it into his sports bag. Even if you just stumbled upon him, you couldn't have known the color of tracksuit inside his bag. You've dug your own grave. More like you led him to his grave. That's what you said, what you did, isn't it? Your spiel about knowing who Fujisaki met with while looking at his tracksuit was all a bunch of crap. I see. So that was the bluff, was it? Your true intention was to cause the culprit to misspeak. That's why you said you knew who the culprit was. To scare him. That's right. Except, I always had my sights set on Uwada. I was suspicious of him from the beginning. But why? Why did you think Uwada was suspicious? What do you think? I don't know. I want to say the only one that kind of makes sense is how he refers to people. Because, we can't really distinguish who's acting strangely, and we can't say we didn't like him. But this one makes sense. Is it? Yeah, okay. I thought I got that one wrong. The reason I began to suspect you, Iwata, is probably something you do unconsciously. You refer to males and females differently. When talking about a woman, you call her chick. But when speaking about a man, you call him kid. After Chihiro Fujisaki was murdered, Iwata started referring to him as kid. That's when it struck me that Iwata knew Chihiro Fujisaki was male. You noticed such a minuscule detail? What are you, woman? Some kind of witch? Scary! I'm not the one you should be afraid of. What you should be really afraid of are people who kill others. Who kill their friends. Ugh. Iwata, is it true? Did you really murder Fujisaki? I didn't kill anyone! The hell's your problem anyway? I make one little slip of the tongue, I have one little brain fart, and all of a sudden you're calling me the culprit? Yeah, really. These are nothing but baseless accusations. Bro would never do such a thing. You have a point. It's hardly decisive evidence. You're already backing down? What other choice do we have? We have nothing else to go off of. Ho ho ho! 'Tis my time to shine. Just a whisper. I hear it in my ghost. Oh yeah, you mentioned you found some evidence pointing to a culprit before, didn't you, Yamada? Did you really? What'd you find? Actually, think about it a little more. It may not actually mean anything. Don't fizzle out on us shit like that, man. Just, come on, let us see it, alright? Oh, well, if you insist. Here it is. And who's that? It's an Electro ID. I found it on the floor, so I picked it up. He found an Electro ID. It must belong to... Well... Concerning the other trends here, it seems like the Electro IDs that we've been finding belong to the people who are no longer with us. So I believe it belongs to Fujisaki. Makes logical sense. As I recall, Fujisaki's Electro ID wasn't found at the scene of the crime, was it? Oh, and that too. I mean, his was missing. Excuse me. Yes, that is correct. I knew I was right! I thought that might be the case, that this might belong to Master Chihiro Fujisaki. They'll give some kind of clue leading to the culprit, yeah? I had the same idea, but alas, 'tis broken and won't even start up. It's likely that after committing the murder, the culprit broke into an attempt to destroy evidence. That's strange though. Electro IDs are not easy to break. You got that right! They're completely waterproof of very high impact resistance, so they shouldn't break in everyday use. And yet, his Electro ID is broken, as was Kawada's in the entrance hall. Wouldn't you say they're breaking a little too often for how highly as you praise them? I'm yawning again, I don't know why. Oop oop oop. Truth is, there's a bit of a mystery for you there. So here's the question. Why, oh why, did Electro IDs break? Why did Electro IDs break? I can only think of one possibility. I wouldn't say they were hacked, because we tried bringing up that, Fujisaki possibly tampered with it, but, you kind of have to open it up and it will make an alarm, so that wouldn't work. Not sure if they would have a bug. I mean, it's possible, but one thing that possibly does make sense is they do have a weakness somewhere. Monokuma, you told Tugame 9 those Electros that they have a weakness. Crap! You remember that? Yeah, I might have accidentally let that one slip. I never told anyone what the weakness actually was. But for 2 Electro IDs. You're already again, which are not supposed to break under normal stress, to be found broken. The only reasonable conclusion is that someone will discover their weakness. You know what it is, don't you, Monokuma? What is the weakness? What? You want me to tell? I think it's a vital piece of information, and it wouldn't be fair to withhold that from us. But what if I tell you and someone goes and tries it themselves? I don't want to have to deal with that. Come on, tell us. We won't try, we promise. Fine. I have a soft spot for pleading, but seriously, don't try us at home, kids. Very well, but this is a special occasion. The Almighty Electro ID's one and only weakness is that accidental exposure to high temperatures causes thermal runaway, destroying it. As I thought! As you thought? I found this Electro ID in the sauna! Isn't it kind of weird how you didn't get burned up in the sauna when temperatures can exceed 100 degrees Celsius? This is because as your sweat evaporates into the air, it creates a protective layer around your skin. Incidentally, if you blow hot air directly on your skin while in the sauna, you'll get burned. That's because it disturbs the air around your skin. This is also why it hurts to move around the sauna. For that reason, you must take care to remain still and quiet in the sauna. Fascinating! I feel smarter! So it's a completely useless piece of trivia! Seriously, what the hell, game? That was odd. But hey, if the victim's Electro ID was found in a sauna, maybe they put it in there on purpose, intending to break it by taking advantage of its weaknesses? And the culprit must have known a weakness. But how do you figure it out, then? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone. That's a mystery indeed. And what if he accidentally... What happens if he accidentally discovered it? What do you mean, accidentally? The culprit could have, through some turn of events, accidentally broken his own Electro ID in the sauna. And then, having discovered Electro ID's weakness... okay. I don't know what happened there. He was able to repeat it that a second time with Shihiro Fujisaki's. It's certainly possible, but who did it? I can't imagine anyone who would bring an Electro ID into the sauna. But I can. You for real? I can think of one person who might have brought their Electro ID into the sauna. There's only one person who might have brought their Electro ID into the sauna. That someone entered the sauna with their clothes still on. And I mean, it's a very easy accusation. Remember the bet between Ishimaru and Uwada? And he gave himself a handicap? Yeah. It's really starting to look like Uwada did it. But if it's even true, the big thing is why? Uwada, it was you who broke your Electro ID in the sauna, wasn't it? What? Why? Why him? Uwada, you and Ishimaru held an endurance contest in the sauna a couple days ago, didn't you? Very true. You went into the sauna with your uniform still on, and I suspect you didn't take your Electro ID out beforehand. That was when you figured out the Electro ID's break in the sauna. Stop! Stop it! You accuse Bro of being a killer, but I refuse to believe it. Where's the conclusive evidence? I don't want to believe it either, but I have evidence that proves it's the truth. Okay. Let's usually I would stop the video here because I think we're getting close, and oh crap, we have multiple ones. Is this one of the... Oops. I think this might be one of the first times we saw these. Okay. If Nagi's deductions are correct, then at some point in time, Uwada broke his own Electro ID. In other words, if Iwata's Electro ID is broken, then that means Nagi's deductions were correct. My Electro ID works just fine! See? Look at that! So Nagi's deductions were wrong after all. Bro is not a murderer! Okay. Iwata looks like she broke during the sauna battle. Huh. You know, I don't know, there's something that's kind of throwing me out. Oh, actually, what the hell was I trying to think of before the thing started? Oh, I meant to say, like, I think it's one of the first times we saw these. I think, like, when it has multiple different ammo, or ammunition. Did we see that before? Or maybe I'm just forgetting it. Whatever. God, I don't know what this is. I slept well. I don't know what the hell I'm yawning so much. I apologize. But let's finish this up, and because I think we're pretty much almost finished with this trial anyway. So I'll probably save the ending, of it to the next episode. But right now, let's finish this up. That means Electro he has on him right now probably isn't his. Or is it? So let's go back to this. Yeah, I think the broken ID is one we want. And he says that his is just fine, right? I call total BS on that one. Something doesn't seem right, and I have a feeling that everything's gonna come together very soon. What does the electrode you have actually even belong to you? What's that supposed to mean? The broken electrode ID we found in the entrance hall. Isn't that one actually yours, Iwata? What in the world are you getting at? I'm saying I think he traded electro IDs. His broken electrode for Kawada's functional one. I mean, Monokuma said himself that Kawada's electro ID couldn't be broken. I sure did. It can take that much punishment, no problemo. Which means electro ID in the entrance hall was really Iwata's. And the one he has with him right now belonged to Kawada? But doesn't trading break the rules? Wouldn't that count as lending? Here's my verdict on that issue. The rules forbid you lending your electro ID to anyone, but dead people don't count as people. It's a bit of a gray area, but I decided it was okay. Most importantly, it made things more exciting. Accordingly, I declare he is not in violation of school rules for trading electro IDs with a dead guy. So, Iwata, if I'm wrong about this, please say so. I think I prefer to be proven wrong. Son of a... What's the matter, bro? Tell him. Tell him he's wrong. Yeah, you're wrong. You must be wrong. Your deductions are fatally flawed. Everything. They're all trumped up accusations. Then why don't we go back over everything that's happened from the beginning? That should make it clear whether my deductions were right or wrong. And it's time for another climax logic. However, we shall do so in the next episode, guys. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Dangan Ronpa. I'll see you guys later.